Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome to Simply Living in a Small Town. Today is Friday. I hope everybody's had a great week. I want to welcome anyone returning to watch this video as well as anyone new watching. I truly do appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. So I'm so sorry. I have not made a video this week. My intention was to make a video actually Wednesday. I was going to do one before that, but then I thought I intended to do a Wednesday whip video. And then I was just so exhausted. Wednesday night, I thought it doesn't matter. I'll just do one Thursday to show y'all my whips. Well, needless to say, I forgot that my tripod was in, oh, I'm so sorry. My tripod, I left it accidentally in my husband's car. And he was gone at work. So I, of course, didn't think about it till I went to go do a video. And I didn't have the tripod. So, and the reason I didn't have the tripod, because actually, I shouldn't say I haven't done any videos. Because actually, so I've been building a gate for my parents' barn, the back of the barn, that comes out of the back of the pen anyway, the back of the, like, back corner of the barn. I've been out there doing that. And so that is why I didn't have my tripod, and it was actually in my husband's car, because I had all my tools out there in it and everything, and I've been going out there doing that off and on, and like working on that in stages. So I have been filming or videoing, just not crochet videos. So I did do some. I have so far compiled what the videos that I've done. I just don't have the whole video ready. I just don't have the whole video ready yet on that, because I'm still not done with that gate. It's been, y'all, it's been one thing. It's been one thing or another. And all this came about because my daughter's pony, that is a little miniature horse basically, he's a little pain in the butt, had been getting out of the field, which of course I say that. I have two other horses. They've not been getting out, okay? But him, he's like, he comes up to maybe about here. Like, he's very short. He's maybe like 36. Yeah, he's actually, that's about right. He stands at about 36 inches. So, in other words, he can fit places, y'all, where they cannot, you know, because they're closer to like 1,500 pounds. Big. He's not. So, at any rate, there had been a gate on the back of that barn, but there hasn't been now for some time, because my brother took it to his place. So, in other words, it's something that needs to be done. So, I'm building that to keep Boomerang, this pony, temporarily inside the barn in the pen. And the next, and speaking of that, then the next project out there is kind of a continuation. That's like a start. Then I'm going to be building him an actual stall on the back of the barn with some more fence panels, because what I actually did for this gate out there that I'm making, I used picket fence panels that I had that were left over from my property where my house burned down. Originally, we had a picket fence that went all the way, literally all the way around the yard. So some of it did get destroyed in a house fire, actually. Some of it got damaged in a house fire. I salvaged as much as possible that I could anyway, that wasn't stolen off my property by several people. But I salvaged as much as I could from there to use for other things that I've already cannibalized or essentially taken apart several other panels. So, but anyway, I cut 2 panels up that are about 8 feet, like they're about basically 8 feet wide, to then put like basically a panel back together plus another panel, well, plus another not full panel basically, and put them all together as one to make this gate. So it's just been one issue after another out there. I've just really been working on that, to be quite honest, because it has to be done. So I don't normally do that type of stuff all the time. I do enjoy woodworking and building stuff like that, but the gate that I'm building is almost 10 feet wide, so it's yeah, it's big. It's wide, in other words. And so it's been a pain because I've been doing it all by myself. And then, you know, I've been going out there for like an hour or two of an early morning before, you know, my day is, before it's 90 degrees and before, you know, I'm like wore out and stuff, because after I do that, I'm just wore out for the rest of the day. And I'm wore out for numerous days after that, but I still had to go out there and keep trying to. So I've been trying to pace myself with that, but yet go ahead and get it done. So I don't typically, like, you know, I can't physically do that kind of work like every single day. I mean, if I could, I would be still working a full-time job for someone else besides myself. So so anyway, I have been videoing. You just have not seen yet what I've been videoing. So, because there again, I'm still working on that. And so I haven't videoed though any crochet, but I do have WIPs. So I'm going to show you, the first one I'm going to show you is actually a WIP from, I had to look and see where I'm at here. So this is actually a WIP from like 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to show y'all last week, which was no big deal because I already had plenty of WIPs to show you anyway. So, but if anyone recalls that my finished FOs, I had 2 of these. Let me flip this around. I had 2 of these beautiful cowls that I made, and I showed how you could wear it like this, and you could even make it longer. And I had numerous ideas of things that, you know, with not only this yarn is, it works up quickly, and it is very soft and comfy. And so anyway, it's actually the big twist. I have to think for a minute again. I'm looking, Prism. Anyway, so there's that. So the other thing that I started after I had these done, or before I had, no, it was after I had these done. Anyway. I started, now this looks like this is probably just a cowl too, but it's not. This, if you can, and you can tell that this looks quite smaller than this. Okay, so this is because I am making a poncho out of this same yarn for my daughter. And this yarn is a, yeah, I believe it's supposed to be, anyway, it's a 6 weight. And to me, I mean, honestly, it's more like 5 to me. It's just, it really doesn't. Here's what's interesting though, after working with it too, was interesting as well, was it is kind of like, has roving, you know, because it'll be, I noticed I had areas that were like real thick, but then I had some that were really thin, so thinner. So anyway, I started a poncho for my daughter. I had the two different colorways and the rainbow quartz and which is this one, I think. Anyway, they're both something quartz. One's rainbow quartz. I have to look and see, but so anyway, my daughter chose this color. I'm going to show you this up close. But essentially, this is the exact same stitch, okay, that I used that's in this cowl, okay? Like, it's like crisscross stitch. And that's really cool because I really like how neat it looks. I've never done this stitch before till I did these cowls. And I thought, wow, this is really cool because I would have never thought of actually doing that. So, but very simple stitch and very neat looking. So on that. So I wanted to make a poncho for my daughter, and this was the color she picked. So there you can see the stitches. So now this looks small, which of course it looks small for me. But I have had this like, you know, over her head sitting on her. And it's fine. But now I'm going to increase to make, obviously, this wider. So I got to mark, I did one increase already. I got to mark the other spots where I'm going to increase. And then that was as far as I got because here, I'll show you what I have left. So this is like, that's all I have left. So what I'm saying, so I need another cake of this, which is like no problem. However, y'all, I gave five something for this. I think it was like $5.79 or something. It was less than $6, okay, when I bought that. I mean, I felt like that wasn't bad. Right now, and Joanne has that yarn for like $8.99. So I'm just, well, yeah, it's $8.99. I've looked the last several days, and I was actually going to place an order today, and I'm like, nope, I'm not, because I don't have a good enough coupon and whatnot, and I had quite a few things I want to order, and none of that I'm specifically have to be in a hurry for, and especially this yarn, it's like I am not giving $8.99 for that, so I just don't want to do that. This is just something, you know, for my daughter, and it's not something she has to have right now. There was actually, she wanted a fall cardigan, and I was totally, you know, okay, great with that. So I did show you too that I was working on last week, a Halloween cardigan, Halloween/fall cardigan. It's got orange, gray, white, black in it. So that I will show you later because that is actually already completed. So I've moved on from that. Okay. Now, if you watched the video, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I want to say that the thrifted yarn haul video, and I had this big like comforter bag that my mother brought me of yarn for 20 bucks, which was a great deal on it that she got like from a flea market booth or something or other. Anyway, so within that there was a skein of yarn in the top that was like a multicolored brown, green, white, kind of camel kind of color, and I, you know, I right away I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Hobby Lobby yarn. Like, I love this yarn because that's what it feels like. There was only like half a skein of it, okay, but I had showed that to my daughter because she really wanted like a fall colors cardigan. So I had showed that to her and said, do you think that, you know, you would like that? And she goes, oh yeah, it looks really cool. So, which by the way, I'm totally excited, y'all, because I looked I looked and I'm going to place an order with Hobby Lobby anyway. So I looked and I found the yarn, y'all. Even though I was going to just pair some other kind of neutral colors with it if I had to or whatever, you know, no big deal because of the way I'm doing this and what it is. Like you'll see in a second. But anyway, I found the yarn and it's still 30% off right now. So I'm totally excited about that, and I need to go ahead and order that and get a couple of skeins of it because that's really, I should only need probably 1.5 like skeins or whatever. So here's what half a skein, well, first of all, let me show you what I'm working on. So currently I'm making sunflower granny squares. So there's one. There's one. And this yarn is just, I just love it. Isn't that gorgeous? The colors are so, I mean, in this are so pretty. And I really wouldn't have, you know, the funny thing is I really wouldn't have specifically chosen this. And I'm just, of course, letting the colors play out. And, you know, it's fun. So these are the ones I have done. So I have 5 completed. And then I have 1. Yeah, I'm on the last row, literally. And so I almost have 6 in this colorway. But I think this is going to be so adorable. So I am making her a full cardigan out of these squares. And I will link in the description, of course. The video for this. It's Priscilla Pate, and it's a scrappy cardigan, and you're just essentially making these sunflower granny squares, and then, you know, doing like you would normally do with a cardigan and sewing all the panels together. Well, first of all, obviously, since they're granny squares, you have to sew all the granny squares together. But obviously sewing the panels together, you know, the sleeves and everything, and then ribbing, if whatever. So I am not going to totally, now, I will say right now, I just watched the first tutorial. This is like, she has it in 3 parts. You can watch all 3 parts or whatever and create, you know, whatever. But I love it, and I think this is going to be adorable. I'm like so excited about this, y'all. And I love this colorway so much that I'm like thinking about, for real, making one just like it for myself because I love it. It's like so pretty. And I'm not usually for neutrals, but I'm like starting to move that way in some ways because there are things that I wear. I'm kind of like one of those people that I'm kind of like all over the place because I do like neutral colors, like for cardigans and things, but I also like fun stuff, you know, like this. So this here, I started a whole nother stack of, let me set this over here. I started a whole nother stack of these. I got a partial one. Oh, it's laying there. Okay. So I have, there's 1, I got 2, and 3. And then, and this is, and I'm almost done with row 3. And I'm out. Because this was only a partial skein as well. Now this is Red Heart yarn. And this is not like brand new. Okay, I'm trying to think. I think I got this, yeah, it was like 2 years ago at a thrift store. I say there was like 2 or 3 skeins of yarn in a bag. Okay, and it was like cheap because I think it was like $1, $2 or something. Well, So anyway, went in my office. I was looking to see what I had in there because I was looking at some other yarns and stuff in there. And I saw that in a bag, this purple. And do not ask me what it's called because I cannot tell you, because this did not have a label on it any more than that one did, even though, meaning any more than this one. This one's called Cobblestone something. It's the I Love This yarn though from Hobby Lobby. So if you want to look that up, you can look it up. This I can't even tell you. I just know. I'll show you up close. This is just a variegated yarn though from Red Heart, and it's a Red Heart, you know, Super Saver. I cannot tell you what the colorway is though. So I have looked, and it's kind of what I thought, because I'm like, wait a minute. The reason, well, there's a couple of reasons why I realized, I'm like, I know that this is Red Heart, because I did, in my house, I had this colorway. So I know that it's Red Heart. Not only that, it feels like Red Heart variegated. So, and it's, I want to say it's a little scratchy. Now, this is not near as bad as, I'll show you this that I used here a while back. This is what's really terrible. Now, this I used a while back on leg warmers for my daughter. This is horribly scratchy, and I will not buy any more of it. I'm just going to use this up, and that's going to be it. But this is like scratchy, but it's not at all like as bad. Like this is doable for me compared to how rough this one feels. So it's, again, I don't have nothing against Red Heart. It's just some of their like colored yarns, variegateds and stuff are extremely scratchy feeling, and it's like, feels like it's ripping through my fingers kind of a thing, like a like a scouring pad or something. So anyway, but I used to have, again, I wish I could remember, I used to have some of this yarn, this color in my house that burned down, in my yarn there. So I've, you know, had it before. I don't know what the colorway is. So I looked online. Apparently that colorway has been discontinued. That doesn't really surprise me because, I mean, I know I had that yarn like 5-6 years ago, y'all. So that doesn't really like totally surprise me on that part. But yeah, I couldn't find it. So, I mean, I'm assuming that that's the case. It's been discontinued, which is not a big deal to me because, like I said, I thought I would just, in other words, I just made up what I had to use that up, and I'm going to pair it with some other neutrals and whatnot and just kind of eclectically kind of throw it together. So, or just make something smaller, but we shall see. That's kind of my plan, is I'm probably going to put it, because actually I was thinking about that too, since there's not that much there, you know, you could make, there's like, again, you could make numerous things with these squares. Okay, you can watch her first tutorial, and just learn how to make the granny square, and not even watch the other two if you're not interested in making a cardigan. I mean, maybe you're not, I don't know. But there's many uses for that. I thought about, like, you could make a purse, like that would be cute. There's just so many things. You could make a sweater with it, which I actually was thinking about that with this, because I could probably just make, you know, a sweater with two, and or like if I mix and just have the 3 squares or whatever. But I could also do, like I was thinking, with the neutral colors, and just make, and then kind of have them spread out throughout like the top and like various, like, you know, have a different and whatnot. So, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that you can do. You just, you know, that's a wonderful thing about creativity, and everybody likes different things and has different ideas. And so there's just lots of different things that you can do there, basically. And that's one thing that's wonderful too, that I love about granny squares. There's like so many different things that you can do with granny squares in general. And then there's so many different types of granny squares. And so I've seen numerous ones that I still want to do yet. And I saw, the funny thing is, I actually saw a tutorial earlier for one I've seen before, that I've seen a couple of different times. It's a really neat looking granny square too. It's completely different. So anyway, there's tons of stuff though that you can do with these. And so, but I'm super excited, y'all, for these, because these are so pretty. And honestly, so these that I'm doing for a cardigan for my daughter, I literally already thought, you know, so when she gets home, I'm going to ask her, like, do you like these? Y'all, I was just waiting to see what she said, if she was going to like this or not, like this colorway specifically, okay? Because I thought, man, if she doesn't like this, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna use them for myself. I'm gonna make one for myself out of this. But no, she came home and she was just, she says, oh, I love those, Mama. Like, I love those. So I'm like, okay. It's fine. It's fine. I located the yarn and I can make one for myself. But yeah, I just love, I mean, look at that, how pretty that is. I really love the colorway. So, and you know, as far as the yarn itself, I'm not surprised that, like, I knew what it was. The feel of it, I've had a lot of, I love this yarn, and you can just tell when you feel that. It's super soft, very nice yarn. I think even at the regular price, to be honest, at $4.99, I still would pay that for it. I have a couple of times. Now, usually, to be honest, usually I will only buy it when it's the 30% off, just because I try to save money. I think like most of us do. But there has been, you know, a time when I needed, or a couple of times where, because Hobby Lobby is 45 minutes away from me. Whether I go like that way, like this is like a few different ones around, and I'm telling you, they're 45 minutes from me either way, either direction I go, seriously. So before Christmas, yeah, I bought some skeins of yarn because I needed those to finish blankets for Christmas. So I paid full price. And to be honest, like, despite the fact that, you know, sure, I like buying them when they're 30% off. Well, of course I do, because then, you know, because then I feel like I have more money to put towards more yarn, you know, to be honest. But I feel like the $4.99 price point is, I would still give that. I mean, it is good quality yarn. What I'm saying is, like, now I like how these look, this variegated purple color with this red heart. I think these, they look really cute. But now if you picked up one of these versus, you know, one of these, you're going to notice the difference right away, because this feels more like sandpaper. And it's just not as nice. I'm going to say that I think over the years, though, you know, and it is older yarn too, okay? But I mean, I do think Red Heart yarn has gotten probably better overall in ways, but then not entirely, because that's the only part that bothers me. It's like some of it is so rough and scratchy. But anyway, that, which goes back to why, for the most part, I literally won't buy. I won't buy it unless I can feel it. Now, if I feel it and it just feels, I can tell right away that I can deal with that, and it's not going to be like this other one I showed you, then I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. And I would buy it every day, you know. too. They have so many colorways. They're just beautiful. But the I love this yarn, Hobby Lobby. It's just really, really soft yarn. So I like it. I love it. I think it's great yarn, especially for value yarn. So, and it's wash and dry and that kind of thing too, even though, to be honest, when it comes to um, my crocheted pieces, so now like this top I have on, I'm not going to dry this. Let's be real. And I don't hand wash. What I do is I'll just run it on delicate cold water, and I will just hang it up or lay it flat to dry. That's what I do with the tops, all the tops. Um, you know, the blankets that I washed recently, I had 3 of my granny square blankets from last December, and I washed and dried those, and I just did those on low heat. Those were okay, but they weren't yarns that, you know, said um, to like lay flat to dry type of thing that you couldn't dry. So anyway, that's, you know, that's my opinion. But at any rate, I don't want to tear up my, like, you know, and I'm sure y'all don't either. Like if a yarn says, I heed that. Like if it says don't dry it, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to put that in a blanket that's going to be dried. I mean, because nobody wants to lay a blanket out to dry unless, you know, I don't know. For me, if it was really small, I would be okay with that. But I think if you're a mom that has little babies, you're not going to be okay with that, because let's face it, little babies take up all your time, and you don't need to be worrying about hanging blankets out to, or laying them out to dry. So anyway, there's the things I pay attention to. So, and you know, it depends on what I'm making. And if I really like a yarn and it says that, I just watch what I put that yarn in, and you know, where that yarn is going or whatnot, you know. I mean, like if I'm keeping it, it's no big deal or whatever. But so that's what I've gotten done for WIPS this week. I actually had a couple other things planned on WIPS. I did not quite get there. Now, of course, today is Friday, and so my daughter went to her dad's this weekend. Well, she doesn't go every weekend or anything like that, but that she's actually hasn't been over there for a month. So she had another thing that she wanted to go to last weekend with a friend of hers, which was a wonderful experience. So she went and did that last weekend. Went to a outdoor music festival, which was fantastic. It was beautiful place where it was, because I took her out there to meet them, and then they went camping and camped out. So I think that was a great experience for her and everything. But that was, y'all, that was such an exhausting day. So I kind of feel like this week has been like, it seems like I'm not doing anything, probably because y'all ain't seen me. But then I've been working on this stupid fence gate all week. Like, and I say that I didn't go out there. I didn't go out there today or yesterday. So 3 of the days though I did, like, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm telling y'all, I was already wore out after Friday. Last Friday was like, I felt like that was like 3 days rolled into one day. It was it was totally crazy. So, but anyway, that's what I'm working on at the moment. And you know, because like I said, I thought that this yarn, you know, there's not that much that I'm just going to make some with this. So I kind of thought, like, I'm going to look some kind of stuff that I have. So like the thrifted yarn, for example, that I have, which I not only have the thrifted yarn now, I also have yarn that my mother brought me from her own stash, which was like, she gave me a whole bag, y'all, of scrap balls. And I mean, there was a lot of white in there. So I'm not even complaining. Like, it's like, she was cleaning out a yarn, and she doesn't even have that much yarn, y'all. She's just trying to clean out some stuff. So she's like, here, have this stuff. And she gives me one whole bag is all scrap balls. And then like smaller scrap balls, or like, well, they're like medium-sized scrap balls. And then she gave me a couple other bags of scraps. And the one is like almost a whole like big skein. And I'm just like, well, so I thought I'd go ahead between that stuff and then the thrifted yarn in the big bag that she brought me. So I've been going, you know, I'm trying to use that kind of stuff. So I've picked out some colors from my mother's scrap balls that she gave me. And I was even thinking about, you know, making some different squares to go with this to add some other like colors and that. So that are like naturey colors, like green, like a peachy color. So we'll see. And I've got a whole bag of like off-white she gave me. It's a bunch of scrap balls. So anyway, I'm trying to kind of use some of that stuff up. I don't like to have, to be honest, tons of scrap. And I really don't. I do not have, honestly, that much scrap yarn at all. So I don't really like to have a lot. And it's like I'll let it get to a little bit of a point and then I'm using it up, you know. So this is what I'm working on. And in the next video, then I will show you my FO for the week. So until next time, see you soon. Bye now and God bless.